it's definitely our best game of the playoffs, and it came at the right time. You never know when it's going to happen. You always want to keep building. So, boy, if we can bottle that going forward, we're going to be a tough team to beat. But guys responded well to a little adversity. You get down, and great start. We just kept going from there. And I think they knew the importance of it. That's why you can sustain it. Just you don't want to let a team off the mat. We were up 3-0. There was some chatter about that, so we wanted to make sure we took care of business. And once we did get the lead, I thought we did a great job staying focused on what was in front of us.
Up front.
Jesse Granger at The Athletic. I know you still have another round to go, but what does this moment mean for you with everything you've been through over the last year to make it to this point, your first year with this team?
Well, listen, I think it's an honor and a privilege to coach in the National Hockey League for any team. For me, it happens to be the Golden Knights, and we were looking at it as a family, as a new adventure for us, and here we are going to the Stanley Cup. So, I mean, it's what you want, but so do 31 other teams, right? And only 2 get to go there. So it feels great right now. I think as a coach, you'll enjoy it for a bit, and then it's right back to work, because I've been there once and it didn't work out. You lose in Game 7, so there's a lot of work ahead of you, but I do believe you have to enjoy these moments. It's not easy to do. I thought Dallas played a terrific series, got behind a little early at home with some overtime goals. You never know how those are going to shake out, and they were a great opponent, and we just happened to be a little bit better. And like I said, now it's on to the final round. So it's actually been a great year to get to know everyone around. Like, I didn't know a lot of people in New York. I knew George from years and years ago, but after that, there's very few. So it's been a great experience to get to this point, forming new relationships that we keep on building.
Right side, third row.
Greg Wyshynski, ESPN. Bruce, you've been around this game for a long time. How much stock do you put into the voodoo of the conference trophy? They didn't touch it tonight. Your boys in Boston didn't touch it when you won the conference title. What do you feel about that?
I remember in Carolina, we won it in Carolina. They didn't touch it. So I asked the guys. I'm not a superstitious guy at all. So I was game for whatever they decided. I mean, it's their moment. If they want to pass it around, great. If not, that's fine by me too.
On the left.
Ben Ghost, Las Vegas Journal. Bruce, you put Nick Waugh back with Will Carrier and Keegan Colasar. What did their start to this game mean to you?
Everything. Everything. It's a lineup we like and have liked. The question will probably come up, why did you ever go away from it, right? But I think what happened in Edmonton is you start to see these dominant center, and you start thinking matchup, and William Karlsson was very good at it. So moving another guy like Nick Waugh up with them, you got face-off, you know what I mean? There's different reasons guys that play center. So we kind of stuck with it for a while, because I thought Hintz, honestly, at the start of the series was, flying around like, listen, no one's McDavid, but, he was a dominant number 1 center, and we had to make sure we found a way to keep him in check, so we kept with it, but that got away from our rhythm of 4 lines a little bit in terms of Nick being that anchor on that line. And so Teddy comes in and does a really good job too, I think, but they're just a little bit different players. So we just felt until a team's depth beats us, that's the way we're going to go, and a team's depth beat us in Game 5. That's what happened at home. Dallas's depth beat us. So, okay, let's get back to balancing the lines, and so it's just a little bit of the adjustments that go on in this series, and looks like they were happy to be reunited, and good for them. Those are good soldiers. Those are great stories. There's a lot of people out there that have been in that position as fourth-line guys. They don't get the ink. They're not talked about, but these are valuable guys. You don't win without them. You don't win without them, and we're not winning if those guys aren't, a part of our team.
Stay on the left.
I know it's your first season in Vegas. Talking to some of the players who've been here since the beginning through all the ups and downs, so there's a big difference. It's a more mature team. Not going to take this for granted. Very, very hungry to win one more series. Do you sense that, and how can that help you going forward?
And I do, and it's mostly been ups for this team, right? Last year they missed the playoffs, but there've been a lot of. They went to the finals their first year. It's our 3rd trip to the conference finals. My first with the Knights, but we had a little honest conversation about that last night. What's in front of us? It's okay to dream a little bit of once we get the 4th win, what's in front of us, and what prevented them from doing it the previous year. So we talked about that and openly about it, and then today was more about, okay, now we drill down on the details of how we're going to win that game, and I thought we did a real good job of handling those conversations, now getting back to work, and now being in the moment today. And we have some veteran guys in the room, so credit to them. They've been through it. And here we are, we took another step. We got through this to the final. Now, the conversation becomes, it's about finishing the job. And, Florida's having the same conversation, but that's where we were, and good for the guys for responding today. I think to a man, they all brought their A game.
We have time for 2 more questions. Left side, 4th row.
Bruce, over here. We talked about your depth. Obviously, the team has some big-ticket players, too. I don't know where William Karlsson kind of fits in that, but, he's had a big series, 10 goals in the playoffs. What's clicking for him so far, and how big has he been to your team's
Well,
success?
I think he's had a terrific second half. He's really found his stride. Can use him in any role. Obviously, he's power play, PK, checking, offensive guy. So can't say enough about him. He's just a terrific guy. Just goes to work every day. No maintenance. I remember at the start of the year, he's playing with a couple of younger guys, and we're using some, I guess more guys more advanced in their career, and he kind of, had to pull some young guys into it in a different role, and never said a word. Just, I'm going to do what I got to do. And so you're happy for those guys. You're just happy for him, and he's a real quiet leader. Like, we have a lot of guys in our team that are veteran guys. Like, he could be a captain in my eyes, the way he conducts his business every day. We just happen to have 3 or 4 of those guys that are really good at it, and as a coach, you're fortunate to have them. And I can't say enough good things about him. Like I said, happy for him. Talked about this before. So there's some daddy power in there that from some of our guys that may be kicking in, so keep it coming.
Last question, right side in the back.
Ken Volkeyson, Not Vegas. We've talked a lot about the players, about their trip to the final. I'm wondering, how similar does this feel to your trip to the final?
Well, I got to think back now. We had a difficult first series. That would be different. We had to go 7, I think, with Toronto. And then we picked up steam from there. So it was I don't know, Ken. I honestly can't answer that right now. I'm stumped. Can I say that? I'm stumped right now. They're both, so satisfying, but, to compare them, I'd have to think back a little bit. I had less of a bald spot. I know that for a fact. 2 great locker rooms. That's usually what happens. You get to the Final Four. I mean, Dallas has spoken highly of their locker room. I know Carolina has, and just, someone has to win, someone has to lose. But, I can't really elaborate, to be honest with you. I have to think about that. I am giving away hats, though, if anybody wants one. Sorry. I'm going to enjoy this one, just like I did then, to be honest with you. I do remember we had about a 10 or 11-day break. I do remember that, which was what Florida's dealing with right now. This one the timing might be a little smoother to get up and running again, but, that's all speculation, I guess, until you get playing.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.